Yo, what up YouTube? Back with another video. I just wanted to make a quick video showing swapping out my stock alternator with a Singer, Mike Singer, custom made alternator. So yeah, I've got the battery unhooked. That was the first thing I did. So you can see I got the wires everywhere. You want to get the belt off. To do that, you stick, I use this long bar right here, stick that in there. There's a notch where your breaker bar will fit, right down here in the spring tensioner, pulley tensioner. You just crank it down this way a little bit, and you can pop the belt off. Already got the alternator unhooked, that wire, and I had my other wire. I added that going. I moved the coolant reservoir out the way to make it easier. There's two nuts here you can take off and get that out the way. It makes it a lot easier. So yeah, pop the belt off. And yeah, there's one bolt here holding the alternator, and it is 15 millimeter. And then there's another one back here. I have a ground wire that I added going to it right here. Or no, this one right here. It's going back there. It's hard to see. Let's see if I can get it on camera. It's right down, right in there. It's another bolt. I believe that one's 15 too. I haven't taken it off yet. So you'll take that bolt off, and then there's one more plug with some wires right back there. You have to take that off, and your alternator should be able to come out. I'll kick the video back on when I'm getting ready to do that. Alright, so I'm taking the back bolt off for the alternator, and just wanted to show you the easiest way I found to get to that bolt is to use box end wrench like this. Preferably ratcheting makes it way easier, and you can get it on back here and crank it down. So I'm about to get it off. Alright, so a couple updates. There's 3 bolts. I forgot. It's been a while since I changed the alternator. Also, I said this was the original. It is actually an aftermarket cheap one I got from Advanced Auto about 4 or 5 years ago, because I was in a pinch and I had to change it quick. So I didn't get a good one. I got a cheap one. It lasted 4 or 5 years, and here I am changing it out. But I got a nice custom built one. So yeah. Also, I said there was 2 bolts. There is 3 bolts. The third one is way back here. It's a pain in the butt to get to. I got my box end wrench on it right now. It's a 10 millimeter. It's back there. It's actually what's holding these pipes right here in place. It's like a little clip that holds these power steering pipes in place. So I'm gonna get that off, and then I should be able to get the alternator out. Stay tuned. Alright, this was the bolt that was in the back of the alternator that is a pain to get to. It is actually 2 parts. The top one is 10 millimeters holding on the power steering pipes. The lower part is 15 millimeter. It is a pain to get to. It was way in the back, but it is out, so the alternator should come out now. Alright, so the old alternator is out, and the new one is in. There it is. My custom built Mike Singer alternator. It's 320 amp. With this one, I had him give me a special plug so that I could bypass the RVC, that's the regulated voltage control system, which basically prevents your alternator from charging at above 14 volts all the time. It's like a way to save gas or something that Chevy does on some cars. A lot of newer vehicles do it. Basically, when you're on the highway, it'll go from 14 volts down to 12 volts, and I guess it saves a little gas or something. But yeah, so I'm bypassing that so that I'll be charging at around 14 and a half volts all the time, which most older cars did that anyways. But yeah, on the newer cars, you have to bypass the RVC system to charge above 14 all the time. So yeah, it's in. I still got a lot of loose wires kind of all over the place. I need to clean it up and get some wire loom on them and everything, but it's in for now. So with this plug, the original one you just take off, and I just got it electrical tape around it, and it's out the way, tucked it down there. And this is the new plug. One of these wires, this one right here, I have switched and running to the battery. Let's see, this one right here, I have one running to the battery. It's switched and fused, so that I can basically turn on the alternator. The other one is running to the remote wire for my radio, so that it's just on whenever the car's on. The switched one running to the battery I have off, and that's just kind of like backup in case something happens to the radio and it's not kicking the alternator on. So it's basically like a remote wire, and you have to have that plugged in. You have to have that hooked up for the alternator to work. It's part of the bypass. So yeah, it's in. Not too bad switching out the alternator on this car. Yeah, and it's working good. You know, it's charging above 14, around 14 and a half volts all the time, and I'm loving it. So yeah, big upgrade from the original. So there it is.